This conference will now be recorded.
Okay.
Okay, hello everyone. Calling this meeting to order, Recreation Advisory Committee meeting for Friday, June the 12th of 2026 at 10 a.m. And this is a virtual meeting. Kim, we have an Indigenous land acknowledgement, I see.
Yes, that is something that's come from our CAO, that all meetings now must acknowledge that, which is great. So, Melinda, if I could ask you to.
Oh, sure. I don't have it pulled up yet.
Okay.
2 seconds. Where is the agenda? Or never mind. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, we would like to begin by respectfully acknowledging that the town of Mono resides within the traditional territories and the ancestral lands of the Tionotonte, the Attawandaran, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe peoples. We also acknowledge that the town of Mono resides within the treaty lands named under Treaty 18, the Nottawasaga Purchase of 1818. These traditional territories upon which we live and learn are steeped in rich Indigenous history and traditions. It is with this statement that we declare to honor and respect the past and present connections of Indigenous peoples with this land, its waterways, and resources.
There we go. Thank you.
Okay, and we've done the attendance. So I see Irina, Jamie, Melinda, myself, Kim are here. Rupal and Wayne are absent with notice. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest?
Nope.
Seeing none at this time. Can we get a motion to approve today's agenda? Irina. Okay, second. Melinda. Okay. All good. Has everyone had a chance to look at the draft minutes of our previous meeting on May 13th? Okay. Any a motion to adopt those minutes, and then we can discuss if need be. Melinda, Irina, all in favor? Okay. Any business arising from May 13 minutes?
Yeah, I have to jump in here. So I know we talked about the entertainer for the Halloween party and a budget being $650. So when I went back to that entertainer, he was no longer available. He had taken a full-time contract for another venue.
Ooh.
Understandable, where he is being employed every weekend with another venue. So I then had to go on the hunt to find another entertainer, which I did do. I did do quite a bit of looking around to see what I could get. Anyways, we have found a gentleman. He comes highly recommended. And I will tell you that his price was $1,000 plus $200 mileage. And that was cheap compared to what I was getting from everybody else. So I've gone ahead and hired him. So our entertainer this year is just the way of the world now, is $1,200.
And what does he do?
He will do he'll do 2 magic shows for us. Like, so between 3 and 5, he'll do the 2 magic shows, and in between that time, he'll walk around upstairs and perform individual magic to families and people, you know, sitting at tables or whatever. So he's full-time entertaining us for the 2 hours.
And I know that one of the reasons was not because the entertainment wasn't any good. It was just to try to shake it up, because we have the same participants each year. But what price were we getting to the end there with, I forget his name, Josh, Zach, whatever.
Yeah, I know who you mean. I can't think of it off the top of my head, the gentleman's name, but that's That's terrible because yeah, and it's no reflection whatsoever on his entertaining abilities. He was phenomenal. It's just that he's been there for about 5 or 6 years now, and it's the same show every time.
Right.
And you just got to mix it up a little bit for the kids, if not for the parents. So I thought, well, we'll see how this guy is. His price was getting upwards to $1,000.
Right. I mean, that's yeah. We are in a place where everything you want to buy, you think is one price, and then you're always a sticker shock.
Yeah, and I mean, I got another price from a gentleman in Mississauga. It was $1,500 plus mileage. So yeah.
Well, good work in sourcing somebody new. Yay.
So we've got somebody new. We'll see how it is. At least we're changing it up a little bit. The reviews on his website are amazing. I'm just going to bring up who it is so you guys can take a look at his website. Doug Hunter, I believe. Hold on 1 second. Let me just find it here. There we go. The Doug Hunt magic shows. So if you guys want to look up Doug Hunt magician, you'll be able to see who we've hired.
Yeah, I think we looked it up last time.
For Doug Hunt, I know there was another gentleman. This
no,
is
never mind.
the other gentleman. I believe his name was Ron Martin.
Okay.
Yeah, this is someone different. Just so you guys know it. So that was what I wanted to bring up to date on.
Okay. Any other business arising from the May 13 minutes?
No, I just looked him up. His moniker is Doug the Great.
Yeah. So, anyways, please put that in make sure everybody's got that date marked off. I believe it's October 25th, the Sunday.
Okay. Any questions from the public, Kim? Or delegations?
No delegations from the public and no official questions from the public.
Okay. Unfinished business. Pickleball workshop update.
So we're right now sitting with 2 juniors for the 1 to 2:30 and 4 adults from 2:30 to 4 for our pickleball workshop tomorrow. Not the numbers we were hoping for. So I spoken with Mike earlier this morning, and we've decided that we're going to go ahead, which is great. Really appreciate that, Mike. But we're going to try and combine them all into 1 to 2:30. So Shelby, I haven't been able to speak to you about this yet, but if you could please call the adult, the 2:30 to 4, and see if they can switch over to 1 to 2:30. Mike's going to run the workshop from 1 to 2:30.
Absolutely. I'll give him a shout once we're finished up.
Thanks.
And Kim, there'll be, you mentioned that you had ordered paddles. There'll be paddles and balls available, or?
Yep, they've all arrived. They're in my office right now. So Shelby's got a whole list. She and I have already spoken about what we have to have prepared for tomorrow.
Okay.
And you'll be all set to go. I will be there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be there from 1 to 2:30. So.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Good. Okay, new business, Community Inclusion Day.
Melinda, do you want to take this one?
Sure. So I don't know whether everybody had an opportunity to either watch the meeting or read the agenda or whatever, but I did prepare a pretty long motion, which I felt was very self-explanatory of the reason why I was proposing a change to how we represent the various communities in our community. And I didn't get any support. So because I didn't get any support, the motion to have a community inclusion day also failed, because that was my solution. So I think that the DEI committee, we have heard through people who are on that committee, we have heard that they are entertaining doing some sort of event, but they don't have a budget, nor do they have the expertise of the RAC committee. So it makes a lot of sense that the committees would work together. But as I say, that's not on the agenda immediately because that failed. So going forward, we were wanting to discuss and ask what you think you would like to do as the recreation committee. It's not a recreation event, but it is supposed to be a full community event, which is what we do best, really. So it was extremely, extremely disappointing on my part, sitting there with absolutely no support and no one understanding, save for staff. And also, I might add, residents have since called me and said, what happened? How did that happen? But there was one resident who was there at the meeting, and so that person was also not understanding the situation.
So, Melinda, you're saying no support from council.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So the problem is council gives the budget, right? So RAC has a budget to put on events, and we have a budget to put on. It's a budget that is pliable, but it's a firm budget. And the DEI committee has their mandate. The DEI's mandate is not community programming. Their mandate is to investigate and advise the town on how the town and the council and staff can be more inclusive and more looking through the DEI lens at our policies and our procedures that happen at the town. Their mandate is not to rally the residents to be more inclusive. So they've kind of strayed perhaps a little if they are talking about having a party, because they do have a budget and they have sourced an educational program for staff and council that will, again, they wanted to have it right at the end of August, which is just before an election. So, and we're having staff turnover. So I suggested that perhaps they because this is all of their budget will be going into this educational program. So I suggested that perhaps they wait until November or December or something, when they know they have a full complement of people that it's going to be valuable for the taxpayers' money to educate. So that's where we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just to be clear, council felt that they recognized these different communities through the flag raising. That's what they felt they were doing, and they felt that was sufficient as opposed to doing community events, because that's what Melinda's whole thing was about, was rather than raising the flag, why don't we do something to recognize these different communities within our within Mono? And they felt that the raising of the flags was sufficient.
And they also, the other real problem that has arisen, of course, with the raising of the flags is that it brings attention to one group at one time while that flag is being raised. And so then it just encourages by design people who feel against it. And in our social media world, they feel they have license to be rude and unpleasant. And so I said that it would be a whole lot nicer if we didn't have that rudeness and unpleasantness, and we educated people about everything together. The idea also that if we put your flag up for a month, that means we can only, if we're ever going to have our flag up, and we're only going to have community flags up, the maximum would be 12 groups. And for sure there's more than 12 varying communities in our community, so. And so I really looked into it a lot. There are a number of municipalities that are pulling away from this. They've got other flag poles, not on their government buildings. They've got other flag poles that they're doing, letting people put it up, and they have it up for a day. That's the plan. Put your flag up for a day, as opposed to ours have all been up for a month, which just begs for division, I think.
Agreed.
So that's where we are with the Community Inclusion Day. So I know Melinda and I have spoken about this earlier this week, and again, wanting to put it out to you guys, what your thoughts are basically, or would they be letting the DEI committee come to us if they do find something that they may want to do, and then speak to them in that under that token, but as opposed to us, like I've already gone ahead and done kind of a brief outline of what the day would look like. Or things that we would need to do, but instead we'll just see whether or not there's any interest on the DEI committee.
Councillor Manctilo is the member of the council member for the DEI, and he does not support this idea at all. He just wants to raise the flag.
He felt that not raising the flag was not the right thing to do. So, I mean, the idea that like it's twofold, right? I mean, there are multiple things. You could say, okay, well, fine, we'll raise the flag and let's go ahead with the community day. But then we weren't really looking for, and again, we don't have budget, right? This is something that we need to get budget from and so I'm not sure that the community wants their dollars spent that way. It's something to really make sure, just given the response that I got, from the council. I know that the residents who spoke, they're also were feeling that the whole flag thing was a bit of a quagmire and would like to no longer be involved in that, and that it should just be our government flags, and flags are our thing. But really, do they really recognize a community, really? Like, particularly at our beautiful picturesque town hall, which is not a place that there's a lot of traffic that goes by, right? Like, it's not like in the downtown at Nathan Phillips Square or whatever, when they put a flag up and you're going to get millions of people to see it and recognize it and everything, right? So, yeah, Councillor Manctilo, they would not discuss anything. They were just fixated on the fact that to stop flying all of the flags would be a mistake, and they just wouldn't entertain it. I couldn't even get it. The deputy mayor seconded the motion just to put it on the floor. Not that I'm for it at all. So I mean, they had read it and yet not heard the message at all. was my take on it. And then eventually Deputy Mayor says out loud to Mayor Creelman, she's just repeating herself. So I said, you know what, call the question, because this is dumb. I'm on my arguments are falling on deaf ears.
Mm. Well, you know, it is, it's unfortunate. I mean, flag raising is a very inexpensive photo op for politicians. So I can understand, but it's, you know, but if their argument is taxpayers don't want their money spent on something like this, but if we still want to go ahead with something like this, then what would they think if we looked into having a sponsor so it's not taxpayer money?
Well, that's fine, but well, sure, but the issue, because it keeps getting broader and broader, right? If you really want to say that everybody's treated equally and everybody's whatever, well, but then you have a sponsor. The problem with the sponsor is just by definition, it's a barter. Like, what are we giving you for you giving us, right? And it puts so I don't know whether. I don't know whether we've never gone with sponsors, as you know, for any of our events. So it would be a real departure. And we're not, and Kim, we're not in a position to just kind of fly off on do our own thing, right? We are just a committee that advises the council.
No, if we were to do sponsors, there would have to be a whole thing go through to council on a sponsorship policy.
Yeah, which we don't have.
Irina?
Yeah, so I was kind of the idea came into my head. What if we ask the people, like make a public poll, and ask them whether they would like an event or raising a flag? You know, something like that, because they're saying the taxpayers don't want the money spent, but did they ask the taxpayers?
Well, no, because the only resident who was there, because so few people come, and there
yeah, exactly.
I've been somebody there who at break said to me, "Oh, great motion. My wife and I really agree." And then he left, and the one person who was outraged by it stayed and spoke, and the mayor let her speak twice, in fact, at the beginning under question period, and then said, "Oh yeah, come back later, we're going to be talking again." And she repeated all how offended she was by the whole idea, not seeing what we were talking about. So the other idea, though, and something that we could be doing is, you know, working a little bit harder on advertising in some capacity to get more community groups to come out to our Winterfest table space. You know, like we do have a really good turnout, and I love wandering around talking to all the people during the Winterfest, but we could veer and make that a little bit more. We have had the DEI committee itself come and have a table one year, but we could reach out to the communities that we already raised their flags and say, hey, we have this event. Would be something that we could do, which certainly would be within our budget, and by virtue of having these things, we could be getting what's the word, recon on the actual view of the people, right? Because for us to send out a survey, I mean, when we sent out the recreation survey in 2022, we had a super response. And that's one of the reasons why we now have pursued, surveys seem to work. Well, they do, but it's really mostly when people are interested in the topic, right? And so that is a good idea to because we have a following already of people who were in, I mean, it's all the same mailing list, but when they see something from RAC, they might be more inclined to answer.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also say that this, you know, just about the DEI, when they're saying we need to do more events like this. At best, this would be a joint venture between us and them. But that's at best. I think we need more from the DEI instead of, we need to do more in terms of recognizing other groups. Well, instead of just, saying we need to do more, put something on the table that we can look at and help you with. Because I don't think it's on us to come up with this event.
Yeah. I think they should have suggestions.
Right, and perhaps they do. We have heard that that they were wanting Kim to come to their meeting. That was the first thing. They were saying a number of months ago they wanted Kim to come to a meeting, and then now we can say come to ours. I see that Jamie's got his hand up, Mike.
Oh, okay. Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, sorry, I didn't. This is fascinating. Given this is my first meeting, I'm trying to get the flow of how things operate here. But sorry, I just am confused. The DEI committee wants to do more events, but they're only doing one currently and spending their whole budget on one event right now. Is that what I heard earlier?
No, the DEI's mandate. The DEI's
the DEI's mandate is a policy mandate. I got that. But,
and education. So they're spending their money on this education program.
So they don't do any events currently?
No.
Okay. I see. So, and this is obviously, spending money on an event like this is obviously outside of the particular mandate that we have currently.
Yes, except to say that we have done community events, and so
Understood.
the Halloween and the Winterfest,
but not necessarily with a DEI lens.
Correct. Except to say that the Winterfest, I think, has way predates even the acronym DEI by decades, and its whole thing was we have something here and we want to share it with everybody, right? So come and learn how to do this and that and the other thing. So the sentiment has always been there, but no, it hasn't. You're right. Not specific.
And so, Jamie, the reason the DEI committee has, originally requested my presence at one of their meetings was they want to express their thoughts on how the events that we're running already, such as our Halloween party, our Winterfest, our walking trail, our euchre nights, all of that, how they could be more inclusive. They feel that there's things for us to do to make them more inclusive.
Has this committee, I don't, just correct me if I'm not following the process here, but has the DEI committee made any kind of actual request of this committee?
No.
Okay, so this is just, so Melinda, this is as a result of your motion at council that wasn't supported, that you're suggesting it here, given that we are in the business of putting events on. Okay. So I was just trying to understand the flow of things here.
I mean, the other thing is they can have their own, they can do that. Like they could do an event on their own. Like we've got a new climate action committee and they are proceeding with what it's I forget the name of their event, but it's something in September, October, Melinda. I can't remember the date. We do have a date put aside for them. They're putting on a green energy day at Menorah. And they're completely doing that on their own. So, there's a committee, they've taken the initiative. They want to do this, let people know about ways for green energy. And they're putting on a public event at Menorah, which has gone through council and been given approval by council for them to do this.
So Kim, the budget would be assessed by council in that case.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, I believe there was money already in the Climate Action Committee because council knew that they were going to be creating this new committee. And so there were monies put aside for this committee. So the money for this event has come from the monies that were already put aside for the committee to spend or not spend as they deem fit. So they feel that they want to go ahead with this event.
So yeah, I guess in my mind, it almost seems like there's two different issues here. There's, if the DEI committee feels that we should be looking at, putting a DEI lens on, or trying to use our events to broaden community participation, I think that's one thing. Mm-hmm. If they actually want to do a specific event, I almost wonder, I think that's a separate issue. I almost wonder why they're not doing that themselves, frankly, and asking council for budget to do that. Right. I see them as two separate issues.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you are correct.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So we don't need to keep talking about this. We had been enthusiastic at our last meeting about how we were going to put forward this idea that raising the flag, and that was in response to some very ugly social media, not just on Facebook pages that don't have anything to do with the town, even though they're trying to look like they do. Our actual one, we had to have comments stopped on, and it was ugliness. And so I said, this is why are we in the game here of giving these people a voice? Why don't we do something different? And that's how. And then the committee got talking about, let's have this would be a great idea. We could have some sort of a community event where people would learn about all these other communities as opposed to just seeing a different colored flag. And we rolled with it, and then we're squished.
Yeah.
So
I would say on the flag thing, I mean, more than a day is, having a flag up for a month is a long time. I just, there's probably a lot more than 12 communities that we're talking about here, first of all. So you don't want to disenfranchise anybody by the fact that there's only 12 spots. Secondly, having, as you said, having something up as an attractor or a magnet for, public, inappropriate public banter, as a, for lack of a better term, or opposition or whatever, for a month is a long time. So I'm not sure why council wouldn't reconsider that policy, but I think that's first and foremost, but I don't think that addresses what we're talking about here, obviously.
Well, I connected them, right? Because I didn't want it to come across, which of course it immediately did come across as, they didn't read it. It was a very long motion. It said everything in it. And it was read out loud. So then I know that not only did they not read it, but then when it was read, they didn't listen to it. That was the crux of it. And this is a solution. An option that would be that could be even better and bigger and whatever. And so there's nothing to say that we can't go ahead with it separately, except that it's not on we don't have a budget for it and all these things. So this is a 2027 discussion. And of course, then there'll be a new council. And so, it may even be something that if you really want to be something really big and make sure you don't exclude anybody, might even be a 2028 actual event, right? And take a year to really plan it properly,
Mm-hmm. The thing with doing it in 2027 at this point is council will not be even discussing budget this year until January, February, when the new council is, brought in. And they brought in December, I think December. But the first opportunity they're going to get to discuss budget or even see a budget is going to be in January. And then, so let's say they pass budget in March. And at that point, then for us to plan a huge event like this, that would probably take place in August or September, like somewhere around July, August, September. That's not enough time. We wouldn't even start the planning till April.
Mhm.
So that's kind of why we started this preliminary discussion at our last meeting about this inclusive day, so that if it was to go ahead, that we would be ready. It's kind of like grant writing. Like, you never know when the grant's going to be announced, but you have to be shovel ready the second that it is announced. So you just kind of get all your ducks in a row and hope that a grant is announced for the project that you're about to undertake. So this would be kind of the same thing, that we had all our ducks in a row for a community inclusive day or a community recognition day. And hope the council would pass a budget for it. In fairness to council, just going back to the whole flag raising thing, I think the way council was looking at this, the way they read Melinda's motion was they felt that if they didn't raise the flag, then that would be them saying, we're not recognizing your group, like we're not being like that. I think that was the whole thing. It was like, oh my gosh, if we don't raise, a certain group's flag when they request us to raise it, it means that we don't like that group or whatever. So they felt that this was their way of being, very inclusive and very recognizing of all of the different types of communities that we have within Mono. They didn't recognize that there was more to the motion, that Melinda was suggesting there's more we can do than just raise a flag. Like, and if we do these other things, like have community days and things like that. And I'm sure there's other ways to recognize our different communities within Mono. If we're doing that, then let's take away the flag raising so that we remove the opportunity for the negative comments, because Mono does recognize and wants to recognize all of our different communities. That's what makes up Mono, like we're a part of that, and everybody's a part of us. Everybody's a cog in the wheel. And so that's what the motion was all about. But I think council looked at it that, if we don't put the flag up, it means we don't like you guys. And they didn't want that to be the message that they were putting out. So, but, the motion was far, far more than that. Anyways.
So my question is, because we haven't spoken with the DEI officially or invited them to our meetings, are they sensitive to the fact that there might be a lack of public support if they were given a budget from council? I mean, you mentioned that, the RAC has the experience and expertise of putting on these events. Do you think the DEI wants us to put on the event because there'll be less pressure from the community or less supposedly, public outcry potentially, because we have run events with a lot of public support, instead of them running an event and again hearing outcry like they do on Facebook about the flags?
I think that they don't have the expertise. They just don't have the expertise. Never mind worrying about what people are going to think about them or what people's opinions are. I think that that's one of the problems, frankly, with the DEI committee, is that they don't really truly pay attention to everybody's opinions. They just have their opinion and feel that their opinion is the right one. And if you don't have that opinion, then you're this, that, and the other, right? Mm-hmm. So we really don't know. I don't know. I only know that the CAO sits on the committee with Councillor Mantalo, and that he has said to me that there is something forthcoming about it, that they are having these discussions, but there hasn't been anything formal to RAC. So I guess we should just, take note of it. It's in our minutes. We've discussed it. And leave it to see whether they come to us with something, as opposed to pursuing it. Though I do think that we should consider outreach to some of these people that we've raised the groups that we've raised their flags, when it comes time to ask if somebody wants a community table at our Winterfest, which is coming up, right?
Yep, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps making it as at the Winterfest, if that's the easy way to do it and it doesn't require extended budgets, etc., then somehow I'm not sure what the correct channel would be, but perhaps just making it known to whomever it is that this is something that's available to them, as
Yeah.
opposed to outreaching specific groups. Maybe maybe it is through the DEI committee and their, broader membership or organizations that they're in touch with, that just making it known that this is a possibility or something that's being offered. We don't want to be seen as, forgetting about or excluding anybody.
Exactly.
That's the last thing we want. So, as long as we kind of say, look, here's the opportunity, here's the event, it's an easy way to do this. If you're interested, let us know.
Right. Exactly. The question is how to find those people. I just knew that there's people that come to the town and ask for a flag, because that's the other thing. All of these flag policies that all these municipalities have, and a lot of them, actually the big ones, have put out huge big disclaimers that just because we're flying your flag doesn't mean that we support you for this, that, and the other, and so on. But that we are responding to requests. So it's not like we go out and say, hey, you
correct. Nobody's soliciting.
Nobody's soliciting.
You're absolutely right. I was in Toronto City Hall when they created that flag policy 25 years ago, and it's if I tell you it's probably 35 pages, I'm not exaggerating.
Well, because it's a quagmire of
and it's controversial. It's always controversial.
So big places like that have another extra flagpole, we have to take our flag down to put another flag up, right? So, and our flag is pretty inclusive. It's pretty nice nature, which was also in my motion, but never mind.
Melinda, has the town of Mono ever refused to a request to hang a flag?
Not that I'm aware of, because there's a few sketchy ones that they should have reconsidered, but no.
Has the town of Mono ever considered putting another flagpole up, not to have to take anybody's down and just add?
Well, no, but we also really try hard never to suggest spending money. So
I understand that for sure.
You're absolutely right. There's a garden there, and we could put another flagpole in it. You're right.
Yeah, actually, there was, when the flag raising policy was being debated, there was an option for the clerk had put forward adding another pole.
It was money that they didn't want to spend, right?
But it was money they didn't want to spend.
You don't recall by any chance what that actual cost was? Was it significant?
Oh, what the cost was? I don't. The clerk did it. I'd have to. We'd have to go back to his notes. He's back to work next week full time. He's been off on medical leave.
I would be curious. I mean, but not just for my own. I can find it out online.
A fraction of what it would cost now in 2026.
I was going to say for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say I can look up, because the recreation department's put up flagpoles at all of our buildings, and I've probably got it in my computer here somewhere. But we're talking 30 years ago, so right. I'm afraid my quote won't be anywhere near what the clerk's was in this past year.
Okay, soccer program update.
Can I just bring to your attention that Irina has left the meeting. She did email me to let me know her phone overheated and shut down. We've lost quorum.
Right.
At this point.
Oh.
Right. So what was our thing? We really to let us know about pickleball, and what is the thing that we really need to talk about on our agenda before September?
You and I had talked, Melinda, about possibly bringing up a discussion regarding Lloyd Armstrong Memorial.
Yes, that's kind of important. Is Irina going to come back?
So I've texted her, or I've emailed her to say, are you planning to rejoin? Because without you, we've now lost quorum, and I haven't heard back.
Right, because her phone overheated.
Yeah.
You can't receive it, right?
And Rupal had a DEI meeting at the same time today, or work?
I believe work.
Okay.
I believe work, and I'm not sure where Nadia is.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen her in a couple of meetings.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Nadia. Wayne texted me early this morning saying something at the very last minute has come up. I believe it was work related for him.
So do we need to reconvene?
Well, without quorum, you can't make any decisions.
No, but I mean, right, but we can't even make a decision about another meeting? No?
So we can, well, our next meeting date is not set until September.
No, I was thinking within the next 72, 96 hours of trying to have some sort of a Zoom to resume this meeting. That was where I was in my head thinking about rescheduling.
Well, to do another meeting so a completely new agenda has to go out.
Oh,
Public notice of that, which is no problem. I can throw an agenda together pretty quickly if we just want to talk about, I guess at this point it would be, well, I mean, we can talk about the soccer program update. I can tell you that because there's no decision that has to be made on soccer programming. That was just an update to let you know. And then the Lynn Gibson, I'm sorry I missed it right at the beginning of the meeting here. My apologies, was to, when you adopted the agenda, was to add a new item. Oh, she's back. Yay. Yay. So we're good. Irina is back.
Okay.
Was to add an item onto the agenda. So I apologize. I missed that. There she is. Thank you. Thanks for coming back, Irina.
No problem. Can't really see or hear anybody for some reason, but I'm here.
We can see you. Yep, we can see you.
Okay.
What was I going to say?
Lynn Gibson.
Soccer update you've done. You haven't done. And then there's Lynn Gibson because she's back.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't add that to the agenda right at the beginning. That I wanted to revise the agenda to talk about that. So I guess we could go back, and I don't know how you do that because we already approved it and adopted the agenda.
Carry on, and you can put it in new business at the end. No? Or you can put it in new. It is in new business, right? It is in new business.
Or include it under the court review committee.
Or we could put it under maybe September agenda items. This is what I'd like to talk about in September and tell you all guys all about it.
Yeah, okay, you could do that.
Irina, are you able to turn your mic off? We're getting a lot of wind. At least I am.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Got it.
Okay, Kim, soccer?
Oh, so soccer, very, very pleased. We've had 2 nights of the soccer program now. Shelby on our meeting here, who I'm not sure if I've let everyone know, but Shelby is the new official administrative assistant for the recreation department. Very happy to have her. And that is her full-time job now. So she has given up her hat of customer service liaison and looking after the halls to now she's booking the halls, and she's my admin assistant, so in the recreation department. So very, very happy to have her with us full time. So Shelby has taken over the soccer program and doing a dynamite job on it. We've had 2 nights now. How many kids do you have, Shelby? Did I lose Shelby? Oh, no. Anyways, I believe she's got 161 children registered for soccer. Oh, there she is right there. Hello.
My mic's not working.
Oh, her mic doesn't work for some reason. Okay. Can you hear her through my phone?
Yep, I can hear everybody.
And can everybody hear Shelby? Great. So Shelby, just confirming you've got 161 kids registered for soccer.
I do, yes.
And just in comparison to Orangeville's program and that on Amaranth, how are we doing?
As far as numbers go, or?
Yeah, I think you've got some kids who've come from the Orangeville program and from the Amaranth program into the Mono program.
We definitely had a lot of kids who were coming from the Orangeville program who have expressed how much they enjoy the Mono program in comparison.
Because it's more of a learn to play program.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then but the one thing is our numbers were down this year, and Shelby and I have spoken about that, and she did some investigating as to why numbers are down. Did you want to talk about that a little bit, Shelby?
A lot of the programs are running at the same time, so we do have the issue with children already being signed up with their baseball and their dance programs and stuff like that, and so there's too much of an overlap. So that was one of the issues that we came across.
Okay. But we're still very happy with 161. And the other really big news that I want to share with all of you is that before Emma, our previous recreation assistant, before she went on to a new position with another municipality, she did apply for a Jumpstart grant with the town of Mono for our soccer program. And very happy to let everyone know that we actually were the recipient of $10,000. At first, I thought it was just $7,000, but that was just the first payment. And at the end of the program, we get another $3,000. So Jumpstart, run through Canadian Tire, was very kind to us and supports this program to the tune of $10,000. That $10,000 has allowed us to go ahead and purchase new nets, which our nets were over 10 years old and really seeing the wear and tear. So we're purchasing new nets. We also put it towards the cost of the soccer uniforms, which did go up this year, as everything is. But because of the grant, we were able to keep the registration fee for soccer low. So we're still sitting at $125 for 10 nights of soccer. And that includes their uniform, an official soccer ball. Their pictures are all paid for. Like next week is team picture night and individual pictures, and that's all included in their $125, as well as the ice cream truck coming at the end of the season to so everybody gets ice cream on the last night of soccer, and as well as a gift for all of the kids that participated. So it's a pretty good deal, $125. And we're very thankful to all of our coaches who are volunteers, and including Jake Haddock, who's Wayne's son. And he comes out, he doesn't have, obviously he's what's Jake, about 17, I guess. Anyways, great soccer player, and he comes out and helps us every week with coaching the kids. So yeah, really, really great program. So, and Shelby's got it. Shelby seems to have taken over the reins without any problems, and getting lots of compliments from her parents. So yeah, there's your soccer program update.
Great. Thanks. And congratulations, Shelby.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
if anybody wants to see it, we run on Wednesday evenings. We're very fortunate that the Upper Grand District School Board rents us out their fields for a very nominal cost on Wednesday evenings. And the program runs from 5:30 to 6:30 for the younger kids, and then 6:45 to 7:45 for the older kids. So if you want to see Mono soccer program in action, that's when it is at Mono Amaranth Public School.
Wow. I think it's amazing, Kim, that you can offer a program like this for $125. That sounds like a lot of action for the kids, a lot with the ice cream, the photos, the uniform, the ball, 10 nights of soccer for 125. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, really, really happy with the program. And yeah, so much so that we've actually had people or an individual reach out to us asking if we can run more programs of that type of nature, such as baseball. So again, obviously another topic for consideration within this committee.
How does that cost compare to some of the other programs that you run, Kim?
That we run in Mono?
Yeah.
This is, well, Jamie, this is the only one that we do for like a big team type thing. Normally this type of program is run by a group of or a league or right. And they'll come and they'll rent fields from us, such as our baseball diamonds and that. Or it's run by a group of volunteers. Like prior to the soccer program, a number of years ago, like 25 years ago, we ran quite a successful baseball program in Mono at Mono Center. And that was a group of parents who they planned the whole thing. They did everything. But they came to Mono and said, can we use the fields for a children's baseball program? And we were more than happy to accommodate that request. So, I mean, we helped them advertise. We bought the bases and the equipment for them. But they bought the uniforms.
You do run other programs, not team programs. You run individual programs.
Right. We run special events. A lot of special events. And we sometimes run one day learning things like a babysitting course. We run for the younger kids, Home Alone course. But this is the only one that we run perpetually, like a 10-week program. We tried one year to do camps. We tried one year, it was going to be called Camp Mona More. And we were running it in partnership with the NVCA at Mono Center. Put all of the wheels in place. We had the memo of understanding between NVCA and ourselves. It was great. It was a great partnership. We were really gung-ho. And then when we put it out for registrations, this was going to be, day camps run throughout the entire summer from July through August. And we thought there would be a really big uptake on it for the kids of Mono and surrounding communities. We got next to no registrations.
Wow.
Yeah. And the best we can figure was because Mono Center there's no real hub around Mono Center. Like there's, if we'd run it at Menora, would it have been different? Probably, but we work in partnership with other community groups that do run camps at Menora. And that's a great partnership that we have with At Last Forest Schools, and they run camp all summer long. We promote it for them. They rent a portion of our building from us, plus our fields or our park. And yeah, it's great. They've got a great uptake on participation. So, and that's a partnership between us and At Last Forest Schools that really serves the community well. So we wouldn't ever say, well, Mono's now going to run their own camp at Menora when we've got this great partnership with At Last. So yeah, we did try to run camps, and that just didn't fly. So, I mean, the question is, do we want to get into, trying as a baseball program now on a different night of the week? But we have to remember, we do have limited resources, but I think in order to do that, it would be really advertising out to the community that if there was, a group out there who wanted to run a children's baseball program, that we would be very happy to talk to them.
It just strikes me that at $12.50 a session, that's unbelievable.
It's great. And we're
for what you're giving them is that's incredible.
And like I said, we were very fortunate this year with the Jumpstart grant that we were able to completely replenish all of our equipment. So we're not going to have any equipment needs now for another 10 years. So it was great.
Okay.
Well done.
Thank you.
I'm,
Celeste is-
can I interrupt? Oh, Shelby's on the phone. I'm not going to be able to, I got a hard stop at 11:30. Is there some, and I will lose you for make it so there's a quorum problem. Can you
No,
tell?
we're sorry. We're good with quorum now. Irina is back.
Right, but I have to leave shortly.
Oh, but
I won't have quorum.
Mike, I'm pretty sure we can be done by 11:30 at the very latest here.
Yeah, I have to leave at the same time too. So what do you want to get to, the court review report?
Sure. You can go ahead, Mike.
So we met Wayne, Kim, and I to discuss some of the
And Melinda.
Some of the issues with regarding court usage, demands from both club use, private club use, public members, and so there's a lot of discussions that remain to be had about how much time certain groups are demanding of the town's facilities, and whether or not the current leases are favorable or too favorable to some parties.
Yeah, so we're still in the process, and just to let to a little more up to date on that is I am working closely with a number of various community leaders in different municipalities, as they too are now in a position of creating leases for pickleball. Pickleball is predominantly the new up and coming, and lots of pickleball clubs are rising. And there's community leaders are reaching out, asking other communities, well, how are you handling this? So we are in talks within the leaders, just to kind of compare notes. What are you doing? What do you think the best thing is? Are you renting out your carts? Are you giving them free usage? Are you giving them free reign? Like this is for the clubs. As I collect data on that, I'm sure at our next meeting, I'll be, bringing Mike and Melinda and Wayne up to date, and then hopefully we'll be able to make some decisions from there, and then bring this back to this committee for you to decide whether or not you want this to go as a recommendation to council.
Okay, September agenda items.
I would absolutely like to add on to the September agenda, number 1, use of Lloyd Armstrong Community Park. And I will let everybody know, if you want to look, it's up on 30th Side Road. It's in the north end of our municipality. And what would it be? Just west of Town Line, Mono-Angela Town Line. So, and it's on the south side. So there you go. Anyways, if everyone could take the opportunity to go up sometime this summer and just take a look at Lloyd Armstrong, Lloyd Armstrong Municipal Park. It's a park that the town inherited through the Armstrong family, and the Armstrong family up in northern part of Mono, they donated it to the Rosemount Lions Club, and then when the Lions Club up there folded, they donated it to the municipality as parkland. So we have it's approximately 5 acres that we have up there, and there's a small baseball diamond on it. There's a beautiful picnic shelter. One of the nicest picnic shelters in all of Mono is in this park. And there's some very overgrown horseshoe pits. We did build horseshoe pits a number of years back, but unfortunately they weren't getting used, and so they have grown in. Anyways, it's something I would like to bring to this committee to talk about further usage. Or what you could suggest, or council wants some suggestions about use of this park. So. And the other thing I'd like to talk about in September is a possible baseball program for 2027, to see if that's even something that we want to consider, and make a suggestion, to council for budgetary purposes.
Okay. That should be interesting. There are not enough facilities to think about a youth basketball program in town. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have our 2 multi-purpose pads, one at Medill Meadows and one at Mono Community Center. Both have, 2 hoops on them. But that's the extent of our basketball. Yeah. But that's not to say that you can't bring that forward, Mike, as something to discuss. Like we could.
So whose mic is that?
It's got to be Melinda.
Okay.
Melinda's cooking.
Okay.
Just trying to clean a pot. Sorry.
Okay. So, and what about Lynn Gibson? You wanted to say something about Lynn Gibson?
No, I'm sorry. It was Lloyd Armstrong. That was my. I apologize.
Oh,
it was
okay.
Lloyd Armstrong. I get them mixed. I
Okay.
just say the wrong word there.
Okay. Okay. Upcoming recreation events in Mono.
Yeah. So this tomorrow is our introduction to pickleball. If anyone is not doing anything between 1 and 2:30 tomorrow, we'd love to have you join us over at the pickleball courts, Mono College Park. And then the next event after that is Harvest Euchre, which is the Friday night, Friday, October 16th. Children's Halloween Party, Sunday, October 25th. The Menorah Pumpkin Trail Walk, which is November 1st. I believe it's a Sunday night this year, actually, Sunday, November 1st. And then Volunteer Appreciation Evening. I know the Recreation Committee doesn't have any part in the planning or anything of that. However, you will be invited to that, as all committees of council are invited to Volunteer Appreciation Evening. So I put that on there so that all of you could put that on your agendas. It's a nice evening it's a thank you by the current council for all of the volunteering that you do for our municipality. So it's a nice evening. There's entertainment and appetizers and cocktails. So Thursday, November the 12th for that. And then Saturday, November the 14th is our regular Christmas Bazaar, which Shelby's busy working on already. So.
Okay.
Okay.
And our next meeting looks to be Wednesday, September 16th at 5:30 in person at the town hall.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Now I will give you a very quick heads up is I have a new grandchild on the way, which the due date is literally very, very close to that next meeting date. So I'm just kind of letting you know that I may be pulled away for some grandparenting duties of the existing 2 children at the very last minute. So just kind of letting you know.
Is there an opportunity to take that meeting virtually for any of us, if need be?
Unfortunately, we can't do a combined virtual meeting because of just the logistics in the room that we meet in. So, and it requires additional staff to be present at the meeting in order to accommodate, the same setup that we do for council. So yeah, and all of our committees have gone back to in-person meetings. So that's why I can't remember why we did this one today. I think it was just because of the time frame and
It worked out
everything.
well.
It was great to see you, Jamie.
It worked out well.
Jamie, is it that you just can't make 5:30 or?
Yeah, getting back from downtown Toronto for 5:30 is like really difficult.
Yeah, Mike, what do you want to do about that? Do you want to? What time would you be able to get back, Jamie?
I mean, later than that, obviously, or potentially, in future a different day.
Oh,
if it wasn't a Wednesday, it would be better for me.
I see.
But Wednesday 5:30 is just tough. So look, I'll do my best for the September meeting to do that. But in future, if we can schedule this on a different day or just later, that would be, for me to
sure.
get.
Well,
for me to
I
get
know
up,
we've
I'd have
already
to
set
leave
the
at 3:30.
schedule for the meetings for this year, but we will set the schedule in December for 2027.
Understood.
And you can certainly bring that up, saying, unfortunately, Wednesdays don't work for me. So then we work around it. Well,
yeah, look, I don't want to disrupt everybody else. It's just, it's, it just requires me to leave downtown at 3:00 or 3:30, which is very tough.
yes. Totally understandable. Okay. Anyways, Melinda's got to go. She's waving goodbye. Okay. I'm good. So our next meeting date is set for September 16th. And we'll see what we can do, Jamie, to try and accommodate you for future ones.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Mike, I will see you tomorrow at the courts. Yeah, I'll be there about 20 to 1 or so.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Take care. Okay.
Thanks all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.